my scrappy friends, this is Hannah with you today, and I am working on a layout in a series where I take old videos that I've made from the past year or two and put them up on my YouTube channel. So some of these you may have seen because sometimes I do post this stuff around. This one I actually made for the Shimmerz design team. I just only shared it on my YouTube channel, and I might have even put it on my page. So this is from 2018, from the fall time. Or I think it is. I could be wrong. No, I'm pretty sure I did this in 2018. I think this was the first year that I did this, and I'll show you. You'll know what I mean when I start talking about the photos. Right? So, but right now what I'm doing is I'm taking some mixed media paste, and it's probably Salt to the Earth because that's one of my favorites. They do not have that one anymore. It was Creamies, I want to say. And it was just white. And I liked it because it was white. Now they have Sponge Sugar. I want to say there's one other one that's similar. It is a little bit different. So yeah. But anyway, so I did I just blobbed it on and did some texture stuff with my palette knife. And then here you've seen me take some of the spray and I just put it all along there. So there you go. And I want to say that was, I might have mixed two colors. It might have been pink Moscato and something else. I think I started with one color and then went down to the other color, if I'm not mistaken. I really should look. I probably have notes on this one. But now what I'm doing is I sewed on those white and black pieces. So I sewed those on. And then now I'm taking these rub-ons from the Auburn Lane. That black and white paper is also from Auburn Lane. And I'm going to put these on throughout. And with rub-ons, I find you never know if they're going to work or not. These ones actually worked pretty good, I will admit. And I've used them even more recently. And they still work fairly well for rub-ons. Some of them just don't work at all. I know recently I tried to use Shimmerz one from her first collection, and it sort of worked, and I was like, why do I still have these? So I tossed them because it kind of worked, but it just didn't look that great. But for the purpose for this, I didn't mind if the whole thing didn't show up, if that makes sense. Really, I'm just doing this to create a little bit of something else on the background, especially with the texture of those pieces. I really wanted it to just be something part of the background, but not be so visual, if that makes sense. So I wanted it there for texture and just an added layer, basically. And I like to do that from time to time. I feel like it just gives your backgrounds just one more thing that is really cool, but it makes it unique each time, especially when you use rub-ons, because it's not going to be the same each time, right? So now I'm taking some of this burlap ribbon because it is fall time. So this is a fall layout. And I wanted it to feel more fall. And I feel like the colors feel fall, but this is going to help bring that up more. And so I really should have, and I knew that I was thinking about this as I was doing this, I should have put that that ribbon down first. I feel like normally I would have put that ribbon and then put that black and white paper on top of it. Obviously, I can't do that if I already put the paper down. So I'm going to make it work, but I remember thinking, man, I wish I had just not did it this way. And I'm like that. And that's one of the problems with just sticking stuff down and not sort of sticking it down, like permanently sticking it down. You can't really go back and take your choice away. So you can't undo it, which usually works out fine for me, but So, it took me a while. As you can see, I'm kind of going through like all my photos, and this is part of my process. Sometimes I will start a layout and go, what do I want to, which photos do I want to do? So I am going through like a ton of my photos, and I will usually print off multiple photos at a time. Like when I'm printing off one photo, I'll usually pick 2 or 3 more and print them off. And in the end, I went back and I printed more because I wasn't feeling the pictures that I had, and I'm perfectly fine with this process. And I showed this just to kind of talk through it. Is like sometimes you may have a ton of photos, and if you have the capability to print off, if you're not feeling a photo that you've already had printed and you have the ability to print off more, do it. Like, why? Like, you can always not use a photo that you print, if that makes sense. So, these photos are in my dining area. I was like organizing and stuff, so, and we had these little pumpkins, and we have growlers that we've once had beer in, and they're the dark color, and they look so pretty. And in the fall time, around this time, I still have dahlias growing. I have some dahlias in my backyard, and they're these pretty pink. And so I really like to add the dahlias to the growlers and then add the pumpkins around it. And it just feels nice in fall. And, it's just one of those things that I feel like really just look fun. And yeah, and it's just fun to organize with. So that is what this is. So this is like 2 pictures, but like different angles, if that makes sense. And actually, that might be on, I'm trying to think if that was on my fireplace mantle. I think it was. So it might have not been in my dining room. I'm trying to remember because, so a couple of years ago, I had a different setup. So last year we got like a hutch thing, and I've been putting stuff on there, but I feel like I had that on there. So now I don't know what was there. If I had something else over there, or if that's on my mantle. So I'm not sure. I guess it doesn't really matter. I know this is from 2 years ago though. So or yeah. So anyway, oh my goodness. I guess it doesn't really matter. See, this is why you do videos. You post them when you make the layouts. Because I've done this a couple of years now. So, because I really liked how it turned out. And now I have little pumpkins growing in my backyard because I put those pumpkins, those little pumpkins, I put them out to like compost. And so now I end up growing. So last year I grew those little pumpkins, which was really nice because then I didn't have to pay for them. But anyway, it was like 2 for the price of 1, right? And this year I'm still picking out shoots. Like I kept a couple out to grow, but they grow so big. They're pumpkins. They grow like, they're huge. They take up so much space in the garden. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear me talk about how large pumpkin, like even those little pumpkins, how large the vines take over. Anyway, so I'm using quite a bit of Felicity Jane in this. As you can see, I love this Felicity Jane. I have another layout that I did this past fall with some of these papers. So I'm still using it because I love a lot of these papers that I had bought. And that paper there that I'm using, I cut out a whole bunch of like some cut files. And so I'm going to use some of that to back up. Sometimes I have a hard time doing this because you have all these weird edges. But for this, I really liked how it looked. You get like all these wonky sides, and I'm just layering. And if you know me, this is like one of my go-to techniques. Is it a technique, layering? A technique. I feel like it is. It's like Shippy, its own scrapbook group thing, because like this is the thing that I love. I love adding all these layers, and you just see bits and pieces, and I'm going to keep adding more and more layers. So I'm going to go through this pink paisley embellishment pack and just really go through. So this layout took quite a long time. One, with the media, because you definitely have to let that dry. When you just use your palette knife and run it over, it takes quite a while to dry. You really just need to leave it overnight and not touch it, and just hope you don't have cats that will jump on it, right? And so I added that little the pink paisley. They had these little copper paper clips. They're so cute. And I used those, the doily, like some copper pieces. There are so many. And then I'm also going to look through this Felicity Jane pack and see what is there that I can use too. So I really was trying to find lots of different things. And that little house, I believe it moves. I don't think it stays there. I like it there, but I can see why I didn't keep it. So, and this is the thing that I try to do. I do try when I use embellishments to only add a little bit of glue at first with my ATG. That's what I use for a lot of just my paper ephemera die cuts is ATG, because there's a lot of times where I will go back through and move it because it just doesn't feel right for whatever reason, and that's okay. And if you use too much glue, then it's stuck there, and that's fine too. I mean, sometimes you just gotta live with the choices that you make, right? And yeah, so in that Felicity Jane, there's these cute little tabs, and there's a lot of cute pieces in that. And so I was trying to add the tab where the doily was, as you could see, but I don't know, I guess I just didn't feel it, so I added it to the side. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog in the background. He's noisy. He's stuck in here with me. So I'm once again trying to add more stuff. More and more. This is, I feel like this layout is an example of sometimes you just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding, and that's okay. It is okay to have a layout where you just add so much stuff. It's just like you feel like you just want to keep adding, and sometimes I think it's just that itch that we have to just, like, we just want to keep going. It feels right, and you just keep going, and it's okay. I know for some people it's really hard to do that. It's hard to show restraint, and sometimes that's a great skill, but sometimes it also is a great skill to be able to just add so much, but like still get some really awesome results. And I really do love how this turned out. So I'm using some of the cut files that I had cut out with some of those papers. So I had used some of the pink paisley papers, if you can see the green and the pink, but then there's the blue that was That was Felicity Jane. So I'm just taking these like foliage type papers. They're like leaves and stuff like that. And I'm just finding places to tuck it. So, and as you can see, you can't really see a lot of these pieces that I'm adding. You're only seeing a teeny tiny bit of it. And I think that's the fun part of it, right? You're just adding and adding, but you're only adding it so you just see it a little bit. And so it creates something like really beautiful. And there was some really nice copper vellum pieces in that Auburn Lane pack. So, and guys, like I still have like 2 more minutes of me doing this. So like I said, I really went crazy and I don't feel bad about it. You know, like sometimes I really do try to like not overdo it. But this is one of those layouts I can say I just kept adding and adding, and I really like how it looks. It turned out really cute and fun. And, you know, it was kind of about, the spread was really about how I enjoyed decorating. And it was like I was decorating the layout just like I decorated my spot with the pumpkins and stuff. I'm almost positive. I bet that's my mantle. But anyway, I would imagine it probably was. I've tried to put stuff on my mantle all the time. And I don't know about you guys, but that is one of the spots where me and my husband have our most like fights, because he just puts stuff on the mantle all the time just to hold it there. And so it becomes this like catch-all, and I hate it because then I can't decorate on it. Like, that's the best part about having a mantle. So I feel like I need to do this kind of stuff more so that people can't put random stuff on my mantle. Maybe it'll inspire me to do this on my mantle this year. But anyway, I am almost done. I'm going to get some little other pieces like these cork pumpkins and stuff, which are perfect because this layout has pumpkins on it. And there's some leaves and stuff. I don't know if I use the leaves. I might have. And then I have these rubber pieces, charm pieces from... And I'm going to use those. And I do try to staple these as much as possible, because if you use ATG, it does have a tendency to like melt weird. And then the glue kind of shows. So there are some really cute leaves in that pack that I had gotten from Felicity Jane. Now, remember, this is from a couple years ago, so I know they don't have it anymore. You might still be able to get... I don't know if you can get papers from that year. So I was using some of that tacky glue. I actually still have some. I haven't used it in like forever. I should try using it for stuff like that again. But I did put, like, after I glued it, I did still attach it with my tiny attacher if I can. And then I'm going to add some sequins, because when in doubt, you add sequins, right? And there was a really cute Pink Paisley had a collection of sequins that went with this collection. So it ended up turning out really nice. So in a minute, you're going to see some pictures and of how it all turned out. I did use Shimmerz stuff. I am on their team. So if you love Shimmerz, I'll make sure I have a link over there, and you can look and see what really cool stuff that they have. They have tons of different colors, and it's perfect for all these different types of projects. But I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a great scrappy day.